began as a simple traffic stop. A driver pulled over for a minor violation, but within just 2 minutes, the encounter escalated into a full-blown arrest. What turned a routine stop into a heated standoff? And why did the driver believe he didn't have to follow the law? Let's break it down. On a calm evening, officers spotted a vehicle make an improper right turn. Instead of holding the far right lane, the driver cut directly into the left. It might seem like a small mistake, but officers know small violations can signal bigger problems. Distraction, impairment, or recklessness often reveal themselves in the details. That's why they initiated the stop. When the officer approached, his tone was professional. "Good evening, sir. Do you mind rolling down all the windows for me? This is a standard request. Officers want a clear view inside for safety." The driver's response set the tone immediately. "No, it's just 2 passengers. I ain't doing all that." From that moment, cooperation was off the table. The officer then asked for his license. The driver pushed back again. "Yeah, but why?" When the officer explained it was a traffic stop, the driver interrupted. "I didn't do nothing illegal. I didn't run no stop signs. I didn't run no lights." The officer clarified. The improper right turn was the reason? Still, the driver wouldn't accept it. Instead, he questioned the officer's body camera and even called someone mid-stop to announce, "I'm talking to the police." Officers are trained for this. Resistance often begins with words. But when a driver refuses simple requests, roll down windows, hand over ID, it's more than a debate, it's a risk. The driver's strategy became clear stall, distract, refuse. Over and over, he demanded a sergeant. "Call your sergeant. Call your sergeant." The officer responded firmly. "You don't run this traffic stop. Do you see the lights? Control of the stop belongs to law enforcement, not the driver." But the driver wouldn't budge. At this point, patience had run out. "You're under arrest," the officer announced. Still, the driver refused to unlock the door. The officer warned, "Unlock the car right now. I will break the window. I will spray you." Open the door. Instead of cooperating, the driver argued more. And that's when officers took action. Officers opened the door and pulled the driver out. Even as they placed him under arrest, he insisted, "I'm not resisting. If I was resisting, I'd be fighting you." But resisting isn't always about throwing punches. In law, refusing to follow lawful orders is resistance, failure to identify, failure to comply. The driver had crossed the line. The officers explained it clearly. You turned a traffic stop, a civil infraction, into a misdemeanor crime. From the flashing lights to the handcuffs, just 2 minutes had passed. 2 minutes that didn't need to end this way. Once detained, the driver kept arguing. He claimed he was just on his way to pick up his son. He said his wallet was in the car. He repeated, "I wasn't resisting," but the facts told a different story. The improper turn justified the stop. The officers were within their rights to ask for identification, and refusal to comply turned the situation into an arrest. When officers asked about the car, the driver said everything was in his name. He explained that his cousin, who was riding along, didn't have a license. At that point, the officers decided the car would have to be towed. The driver protested again. "I wasn't doing nothing illegal." But the officers reminded him, what began as a minor civil infraction had now escalated to a criminal charge. Later, a supervising sergeant arrived on scene. The driver immediately began retelling his side, that the officers were yelling, that they threatened to break his window, that he never resisted. The sergeant listened patiently, then explained, "I'll review the body cam footage." "That footage can't be edited or altered," the driver insisted. "They didn't ask for my ID until after they threatened to pepper spray me." But the sergeant clarified, "If they asked for ID and you didn't provide it, that's failure to comply." The man repeated, almost desperately, "Resisting means running, fleeing. I didn't resist." But the officers explained again, refusal to follow commands is also resistance. Even as the sergeant assured him the complaint would be looked into, the arrest stood. The man was going to jail. As he waited, his frustration poured out. He asked for his car keys, worried about the windows being rolled up, worried about the car being moved or damaged. The officers told him calmly the vehicle would be towed and the process would follow standard procedure. The driver couldn't believe it. "I haven't been to jail in years, and this is what y'all do?" he said. He added that he had been working hard, staying out of trouble, and didn't deserve to be in handcuffs over what he saw as a small mistake. To him, the night felt like injustice, but to the officers, it was a straightforward case of non-compliance. For officers, stops like this are more than frustrating. They're dangerous. Every refusal raises questions. Is the driver hiding something? Armed? Planning to flee? Their training demands firmness, composure, and escalation only when necessary. In this case, the officers stayed calm, direct, and professional, resolving the stop swiftly and safely. For the driver, his words revealed a misunderstanding of the law. He believed that without committing a major crime, he didn't need to show ID, but traffic law is clear. Once stopped lawfully, identification is required. This case also highlights the role of supervisors and body cams. The sergeant's calm explanation that every second of the stop would be reviewed on video shows how transparency protects both citizens and police. The driver's complaints would be documented, the officer's actions would be verified, and yet the driver's disbelief lingered. He spoke of his past, insisting he had been living clean, working hard, and avoiding trouble. He wanted this night to be seen as an overreach, but the reality was simpler. A lawful stop escalated only because of refusal to comply. In the courtroom, where evidence matters most, body cam footage would tell the story better than words shouted on the side of the road. And if nothing else, this encounter proves how quickly defiance can turn seconds of delay into lasting consequences. In under 2 minutes, a simple traffic stop became an arrest. Not because of police aggression, but because of one driver's refusal to comply. The takeaway is simple. Compliance and cooperation don't mean surrendering your rights. They mean handling the moment safely, then contesting disagreements in court, where they belong. So what do you think? Did the officers act appropriately, or should they have given the driver more time? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real police encounters